Good morning, folks. This is Champ at Heron Dry Creek Farm. My daddy, when I was a little boy and we lived on Olive Street, north of the Catholic Church in Marshfield, we had a hardy hibiscus on the south side of the house. He always said it was his favorite flower because it bloomed and rebloomed and bloomed again. That started my interest in hibiscus plants. As a little bit older lad, I saw hollyhocks grown by Herman and Cleta Pierce and some other people, and took to hollyhocks. About the same time, I started planting big gardens. Here's one that hadn't bloomed yet. I still don't know what the color's going to be. I'm actually thinking that these may do better in a plot in the front yard rather than over here, because this will be in shade. You can just see the progression. This one's taller. That one's in shade the most. There's a pink hollyhock there on the end that's in shade too much. It needs moved. And of course, like a idiot, I planted some here. Oh well. Sarah and I bought these from C.W. Young, J-U-N-G, and these, I can't remember, of Holy Grail hibiscus. That's what they are. And aren't they beautiful? You gotta pluck them things off right after they bloom. Get them off there. It's unsightly for the plant, and it just promotes more growth. That will go, and that will make a seed pod if you're not careful. And you want growth going to new blooms. We're not trying to, although I am thinking I'm going to let one of these go and plant the seed and see what happens. So anyway, we'll take a little walk this way. Sorry for those of you who have vertigo. Foundation of an old garage my dad tore down in 1950. We'll talk about other foundations around here some other time. So I planted these orange cosmos from Baker Creek, and man, have they surpassed expectations. They are just beautiful. All the look of a heroin poppy without the heroin. But I wanted to call your attention to this rose bush right here. In 1966, my grandfather, Judge Heron, died, and my grandmother loved yellow roses, and she had an old-fashioned yellow rose behind the house that has since died. I keep saving rose plants around the yard just to find out they're multiflora rose. Anyway, this was planted up near the house, Mother's Day of 1966. We had a little drainage issue and I had to move it. And so it has already bloomed once and been pruned and mulched some more. And look how pretty it is coming out. I have another one of these over here, and it's not really in a good spot, so it's going to get moved. I've also got Phoenician mullein started. You can see it right there. That's it. Right there. On both sides. I won't trouble with showing you the other one. But Phoenician mullein has these really colored spires. If you know what old common mullein looks like, if you're on YouTube and you've ever searched up herbs and you get people telling you ought to smoke it and make tea out of it and everything else, there is some folk belief around mullein. I don't know that any of it has been scientifically proven or not. I don't know. Planted a couple coxcomb back in here, and I've got some deep yellow daylilies starting. They just didn't bloom this year, but they're growing. Put a little more mulch on them, let them go. But wanted to go over here and show you this. Now this is, I've planted this about 20 years ago. A family member backed over it with his Lincoln Town car. No, it's Big Mercury. Another hibiscus, that's a Rose of Sharon. Funny, there's a Japanese beetle. Although I'd rather him be here than in the garden. So as I started growing things, we had Rose of Sharon in our yard, and my grandmother had them, and they're just gorgeous. They're also a hibiscus. I pieced together that okra and hollyhocks and Rose of Sharon were all the same plant, and got the Latin names, and by golly, that was the case. And so I have since grown all three, and now added those Holy Grail hibiscus. I just love this species of plant. They repeat bloom. They're not terribly hard to grow. I mean, but they just put on a nice show. We're gonna have to thin this one. It's gonna get overly big, and we're gonna start it's got a stump down there. It's probably 15 or 16 inches across. But yeah, so I take Sarah one of these every now and then. Take your wife some flowers, guys. If you don't have flowers, you grow some. Walk down here and we'll look again in front of the garden. I made a post about the flower bed the other day. There's a sign of the drought. I've got DPE stretched everywhere, pumping from the spring. These were lavender vincas from Baker Creek. We started them. They're beautiful. They don't spread like the other vincas. And then right here, coxcomb. I love coxcomb. And spider plant. My nod to Cleta Pierce, who grew spider plants. Coxcomb in the front. First taught me about those plants. We've got some hollyhocks planted out here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's a 4 o'clock. These are Phoenician mullein. That one's white with purple center, and this one's yellow with purple center. And those are the only two that I've got out that have made it, other than I've got others planted that haven't yet bloomed. This plant, some people asked about this. This is borage, and it's an herb. And I actually forget what borage is supposed to do, but borage has, pink and lavender flowers. I don't know that I've ever seen that. I've grown borage before, but I don't know that I've ever seen that before. We also have two, look at that pretty, it's looking like a brain, more of those Holy Grail hibiscus. Our sunflowers are Sunboy sunflowers. I got them from C.W. Young as well. And this thing, it looks like a weed, is Sweet Annie Wormwood. Pinch a little bit off and squeeze it. I've got some poppies and a bee balm down there. Both of those should be perennials here. But that's our little flower garden out front. Audrey and I planted this. She's got one in the back. I might let her make a video of it, show what it is. Hers is going to come in really, really nice, so I'll have to let her show you that. Anyway, plant some flowers, folks. It just makes life better when you're walking by and looking at them. And with that, we bid you a happy Sunday.